And finally, guys, delusion has seeped in even more so to the AEW locker room. Dustin Rhodes, he goes on social media to cry because Tony Khan had to rile up the soldiers, the AEW soldiers, man, the AEW sickos. Please stop the constant attacking towards AEW. Dustin Rhodes tweeted this out. Look at this guy. Unbelievable. Here's a thought. Just enjoy wrestling. Please stop the constant attacking and vitriol towards AEW. We have the most passionate wrestlers in the world. We do this for you. Hashtag I'm with AEW. And I love watching all wrestling. Oh, man, Dustin Rhodes. Oh, my goodness, man. Look up delusion in the dictionary. You'll find everybody who works at AEW right next to the definition. Some fans have reacted negatively towards AEW this year, rightfully so, as the company is experiencing a downturn in ratings, attendance, overall interest, and every other fucking metric that you could possibly conceive. However, AEW is a needed alternative to WWE. They once were the alternative. They are no longer the alternative. In the wrestling business, staff and fans, the promotion took off in 2019 due to frustration amongst fans with the current Vince McMahon product at the time, which only turned around once Triple H took over, and now people feel like they don't need AEW. Dustin Rhodes put this tweet out, and like I said, they want the vitriol and constant attacking to stop towards AEW. They live in a bubble. They live in their own echo chamber. Most of them have already migrated to Blue Sky because they don't need to hear. They don't want to hear. They have no interest in hearing anything that's wrong with the company. They don't want to hear any criticism whatsoever. Good, go over there. Don't come back. Us real fans will continue to push for change in the company. Now, I don't know how many of the sickos have identified the problems within AEW. If you have, good on you, man. You're one of the smart ones. Don't get sucked into the vortex known as the fucking half-witted idiots over in the AEW camp, the sicko camp. Don't do it. I don't understand how the company, actually I do understand, but I don't really understand what type of business model this is. To just ignore all the problems and have one of your most trusted soldiers go out there and claim, stop. Everybody loves wrestling. We all love wrestling. We got a great roster. We do this for you. Are we not supposed to voice our criticism when something is obviously not feeling the same? Do you want us to just sit there and accept what you're giving us with no complaints whatsoever? What type of real fan would that be? A real fan would obviously notice the change. A real fan would notice the problems. A real fan would voice concern about those problems and want to see the company change and fix the problems for the better. This tweet doesn't really address any of that. Stop. It's unfair. We don't deserve your attacking. Yes, you do. Yes, you do. Everything's great. Tony Khan acts like everything's great. Tony Khan like a petulant child on social media fucking tweeting 12 times within the hour. Please watch Dynamite. It's going to be a great show. The Continental Classic is going to produce some bangers. It's going to be a great night of television on TBS and TNT at 8 p.m. Eastern. Nobody wants to hear that. You've driven half the fucking audience away, more than half the audience away, with your bullshit, and you're refusing to change. This is only going to drive people further away. You love pro wrestling. Give me a fucking break. You do this for us. No, you don't. You do it for Tony. Tony does it for himself. The world goes round and round. I don't know how many times I got to explain this to you. Everybody is finding a problem. Most of us smart ones are finding a problem with AEW. If you don't expect us to voice our criticisms and our concern about how the show does not look, that it does not feel the same, I don't know what the fuck you're expecting people to do. I really don't get it. Just own up to your problems, own up to your mistakes, own up to the fact that your owner, your boss, your CEO, your head of creative is a clueless fucking hack, and address the fucking problems. If you don't address the problems, their ratings will be lower next year. Their interest will be lower next year. Nobody's going to give a shit. Look at World's End. They don't even have 5,000 tickets out for their last pay-per-view of the year. Granted, we're still 4 weeks away. But my God, man, an AEW pay-per-view, not even at 5,000 tickets sold, and we're in the month in which the pay-per-view is going to take place. No, but everything's great. Kenny Omega says everything's great. AEW Dynamite's running like clockwork. No, nothing is great. It's not great. This is a fucking delusional, half-witted idiot who's tweeting, stop the anger, stop the criticism, stop attacking, stop the vitriol towards us. I'm sorry, some people are fucking mentally deranged. I get it. But the good ones, people like us, who want to see the product get better, are going to get angry when you continue to ignore the fucking problems that everybody sees on a weekly basis. There's no story. It looks lowbrow. Your commentary team is fucking terrible. The interest in the product is so low that nobody wants to watch. Your crowds are lifeless every fucking week. The list goes on and on. What else do I have to do? What else do I have to say on my end of things? What else do I have to say? Yeah, people still are going to blindly support, which is fine. But if you want real change, like I said, hit them where it hurts. Stop watching altogether. Live vicariously through podcasts like me and Jesse on Wednesday nights, who will give you the fucking facts right there, 100%, every single time. Stop buying merch. Their merch is awful anyway. I don't know who's buying merch nowadays in 2024. It's fucking terrible. Stop buying merch. Stop buying tickets to the shows, which a lot of people have already because there's nothing to invest in. Stop buying the pay-per-views. We haven't heard a single word on Full Gear's pay-per-view buy rates. Gee, I wonder why. Normally those numbers are out almost immediately. Someone at the scrum almost immediately asks Tony Khan what the buy rates are, and he usually gives an answer. He didn't give a fucking answer. We got no news on that whatsoever 2 weeks now after the pay-per-view has finished. Gee, I wonder why. Stop supporting the company. They will get the picture, and changes will appropriately need to be made. That's how you're going to hurt them. Just like in the video game scene, how many people, how many content creators continue to tell you, stop buying Call of Duty. There's more and more problems. And those problems get more offensive and more egregious and more blatant every single year. Stop buying and stop playing the fucking game. That is where you're going to hurt them most. And they will be forced to make change to the existing game to make it fit and make it feel better for the player base, to get those players that they lost back playing their game. The magic is gone. The feeling of AEW is gone. If you think Dustin Rhodes, now I know he's not going to say anything, but if you think Dustin Rhodes is right here, well, there's no helping you, man. AEW is not being attacked for no reason. They're being attacked because their fucking show is terrible. Their stories, their storylines, their television show week to week is fucking terrible. If you don't expect fans to speak up about it, I'm sorry, man. We're going to be here every fucking week telling you exactly what it is. And we do this for you? No, you do it for Tony. And Tony does it for Tony. And Tony doesn't give a fuck about anybody but himself and what he wants to see on television. That has become abundantly clear as the months and months and months went on. As we now go into 2025, nothing is changing with the company, and nothing will change as long as that man is in charge.